Formulae of the chapter. Formulae set 02 of the chapter center of mass. The chapter is center of mass. Number 1 topic is here. This is a body which is moving. This is a body of mass m1 which is moving with velocity vector v1, and the other body, and there is another body of mass m2 which is also moving with velocity vector v2. These two bodies or these two particles are at the point A and B. C is the center of mass. C is the point which is the center of mass, and which will be moving with a velocity vector vcm. Now the expression of vector v1 is v1xi, v1y j cap, and v1z k cap. Vector v2 equal v2xi cap plus v2y j cap plus v2z k cap. In the expression of vector v1, it should be vector v1z k cap. Now vector vcm, that means velocity vector of center of mass, will have the expression m1 vector v1 plus m2 vector v2 whole divided by m1 plus m2. This is the expression of velocity vector of center of mass. Vector vcm is the velocity vector of center of mass of a system of two particles. Center of mass of a system of two particles or two bodies. Two particles of masses m1 and m2 moving with velocity vectors, moving with velocities vector v1 and vector v2. Therefore, vector vcm equal m1 bracket open v1xi cap plus v1y j cap plus v1z k cap bracket close plus m2 bracket open v2xi cap plus v2y j cap plus v2z k cap bracket closed whole divided by m1 plus m2. Number 2 topic is let four particles of masses m1, m2, m3 and m4 be placed at the four corners of a square. Four particles of masses m1, m2, m3 and m4 be at the four corners of a square of length L. These four particles will be placed at the four corners of the square, such that the first particle of mass m1 be placed at the origin, and the other particles will be placed in anti-clockwise direction. This is the square. OABD is the square, and here the four particles will be placed at the four corners of the square such that first particle of mass m1 So these are the 4 particles. They will be placed. Four particles M1, M2, M3 will be placed in this way. That is in anti-clockwise direction, and the first particle will be at the origin O, such that the first particle of mass M1 is placed at the origin O. Number 2, 4 particles are oriented. 4 particles are oriented anti-clockwise, in anti-clockwise direction, and the position coordinates of the first particle M1 is 0, 0, and the position coordinates of the second particle is L, 0, and position coordinates of the third particle M3 is L, L, and the position coordinates of the fourth particle or the last particle of mass M4 is 0, L. In this case, we can denote the center of mass. C is the center of mass of the system of 4 particles. XCM and YCM are the position coordinates of the point C. Or therefore, XCM equal M1 x1 plus M2 x2 plus M3 x3 plus M4 x4 divided by sum of masses of all the particles divided by M1 plus M2 plus M3 plus M4. So in this case, for the particle of mass M1, 0, 0 means x1, y1. For M2, L, 0 means x2, y2. For M3, L, L means x3, y3. And for the fourth particle, 0, L is equivalent to x4, y4. Number 3 topic is, we can consider a T-shaped plate, and the width of the horizontal part of this plate is B, and width of the vertical part of the plate is also B. Length of the horizontal part is L, small l, and the height of the vertical part is small h. This is a T-shaped plate, and we can consider 2 parts. One is horizontal part of mass M1 and another is vertical part of mass M2. Let sigma be the surface mass density or mass per unit area of the T-shaped plate. Sigma be the surface mass density of a T-shaped body or plate, and it is a 2-dimensional body. The origin O exists at the highest point. This is the origin. O is the origin which exists at the highest plane of this T-shaped plate. The origin O exists on the highest plane of the T-shaped plate. The origin O exists at the mid position on the highest plane of the plate. M1 is the mass of the horizontal part and M2 is the mass of the vertical part. A1 and A2 are the areas of the horizontal part and vertical part of the T-shaped plate respectively. Now we can draw the axis of this T-shaped plate. This is an imaginary axis denoted by dotted straight line. The horizontal part has the center of mass C1 as shown in the figure. C1 is the center of mass of the horizontal part of mass M1 and area is A1. Similarly, and the distance of this center of mass C1 from the origin is Y1, and Y1 is equal to B by 2. Y1 equal to B by 2, where B is width of the horizontal part, C2 is the center of mass of the vertical part, which is at a distance Y2 equal, which is at a distance Y2 equal B plus distance of the center of mass C2 of the vertical part is Y2 equal B plus H by 2. B plus H by 2. Center of mass C2 exists at the midpoint of the vertical part, and this height from the base of the plate is H by 2, height of the point C2, and here C is the center of mass of this plate. This is the center of mass. C is the center of mass of this total T-shaped plate. M1 means mass of the horizontal part is sigma into A1, surface mass density into area, sigma into L dot B, M1 equal to sigma into L dot B. So this is the mass of the horizontal part. This is the mass of the horizontal part. Horizontal part of the T-shaped plate. So this is the horizontal part in the diagram, horizontal part of the plate, and this is the vertical part of the T-shaped plate. Now M2 is sigma into A2. A2 is area of the vertical part. M2 equal to sigma into H dot B. M2 equals sigma dot H dot B, which is the mass of the vertical part of the T-shaped plate. Mass of the vertical part. Vertical part, not portion. It may be portion. Mass of the vertical portion of T-shaped plate. Sigma is the surface mass density or mass per unit area of the plate. In this case, distance of the center of mass from the origin means distance of the point C from the point O is YCM. YCM is the distance of the center of mass C from origin O. Therefore, YCM equal M1 Y1 plus M2 Y2 divided by M1 plus M2 divided by M1 plus M2. YCM equal M1 Y1 plus M2 Y2 divided by M1 plus M2, which is the distance of center of mass of the T-shaped plate, center of mass of T-shaped plate, T-shaped plate from the highest plane. Number 4. Number 4 topic. Here in the diagram we have a sphere, 3-dimensional body. We have a sphere, and this is the radius of the sphere, and a small portion of the sphere will be removed, and remaining portion will be a truncated sphere. This is the O be the origin which exists at the center of the sphere. C is the center of the sphere. C1 is the center of a small sphere. small sphere which will be removed from the larger sphere. This is a small sphere having center C1, and that will be removed from the main sphere. And this small sphere has the radius capital R1 and mass is m1, and distance of the small sphere from the center of the main sphere is small r1, and here the center of the remaining portion of the sphere or truncated sphere, center of mass of the truncated sphere or the remaining portion of the sphere is C2, which is at a distance r2 from the center of the main sphere. R2 is the distance of center of mass of the truncated sphere from the center of the main sphere, small r2. M is the mass of the main sphere, m1 is the mass of the small sphere which will be removed from the main sphere. And m2 will be the mass of the truncated sphere or the mass of the remaining portion of the sphere. m2 is equal to m minus m1. So if we compare this with a system of two particles having center of mass C, and the two particles have the masses m1 and m2. m1 is the small sphere which will be removed from the main sphere, and m2 is the mass of the truncated sphere or the mass of the remaining portion of the sphere after removal of the small sphere. m1 is the mass of the smaller sphere which is removed from the main sphere, So this is the main sphere of mass capital M in the diagram, and m1 is the smaller sphere which will be removed from the main sphere, and m2 is the mass of the truncated sphere or the remaining portion of the main sphere, truncated sphere. Distance of the smaller sphere from the center of mass of this system is small r1, and distance of the truncated sphere from the center of mass of the system is small r2. And this center of mass C coincides with the origin O. As the center of mass, which is the center of the main sphere, which is the center of the main sphere of mass capital M of the system of two particles of masses capital M1 and capital M2 coincides with the origin O, comma. That's why R2 equal, we can prove, and this concept can be available in formula set 1 of center of mass. R2 equal m1 by m2 bracket close into R1. R2 equal capital M1 by capital M2 bracket closed into small r1. R2 equal m1 by m2 into small r1, that is the distance of center of mass, distance of center of mass C2 of the truncated sphere after removal of the smaller sphere from the main sphere, truncated sphere of mass M2. Now number 5 topic. In the diagram, this is a frictionless pulley and two bodies of masses M1 and M2 will be suspended by using a string. Two bodies are connected to ends of a string which passes over this frictionless pulley. Weight of the block or the body of mass M1 is M1g, which acts downwards, and the weight of the another block is M2G, which is also acting downwards. M2G acts downwards, and in this case, if M1 greater than M2, the first body of mass M1 will be moving downwards with an acceleration A1 equal to A. The heavier block of mass M1 will be moving downwards with an acceleration A1 equal A. The block of mass M1 will move downwards with an acceleration A1 equal to A, and lighter block or lighter body of mass M2 will be moving with the same acceleration upwards. A2 equal A is the acceleration of the lighter body which is moving upwards. Now, center of mass of this system is C. C is the center of mass, Cm, C dot m is the center of mass of the system containing two blocks. As M1 greater than M2, as M1 greater than M2, comma, the common acceleration of the two bodies, the common acceleration of the two bodies or two blocks, A and B, common acceleration of the two blocks A and B is given by A equal M1 minus M2 divided by M1 plus M2 into G. M1 minus M2 divided by M1 plus M2 into G. That is the common acceleration of these two blocks. A equal M1 minus M2 divided by M1 plus M2 into G. Therefore, the center acceleration of the center of mass, that is acceleration of the point C, is ACM, and say let the point C will be moving with an acceleration AC1 downwards. So in that case, ACM, vector ACM equal M1 vector A1 plus M2 vector A2 divided by M1 plus M2. As vector A1 is parallel to vector ACM and vector A2 is in the opposite direction with respect to vector ACM, that means vector A2 is anti-parallel to vector ACM. The center of mass C moves downwards and the block M2 moves upwards. That's why A2 will be negative. So ACM equal M1 A1 plus M2 bracket open minus A2 divided by M1 plus M2. Now putting the expression of A1 and A2, M1 and finally we get M1 minus M2 divided by M1 plus M2 into A. Now putting the expression of common acceleration A, then we get M1 minus M2 divided by M1 plus M2, M1 minus M2 divided by M1 plus M2 bracket close whole square into G. That is the acceleration of the center of mass of a system in which two blocks are tied to two ends of a string and which passes over a pulley. Since A equal, the expression of common acceleration A equal M1 minus M2 divided by M1 plus M2 bracket close into G. So ACM equal M1 minus M2 divided by M1 plus M2 whole square into G. That is the acceleration of center of mass. Acceleration of the center of mass of a system of pulley and two blocks. In the diagram, a firecracker or bomb is at the point P, and this bomb has mass m and it explodes into two fragments at the point P on its parabolic path. This is the parabolic trajectory described by this bomb or firecracker. This is the parabolic trajectory described by this firecracker or bomb, and at a certain instant of time the bomb is at the point P and this bomb explodes into two fragments. First fragment will describe this type of parabolic trajectory. This is the parabolic path described by the first fragment of mass m1, and we have another fragment of mass m2, and that will move that will move along this parabolic path, that will move along this parabolic path, along this parabolic path. This is the second fragment of mass m2, which will describe again a parabolic trajectory. We can connect these two fragments, two fragments at the point R at the point A and B, and C is the center of mass of the system of these two fragments, and this center of mass will exist on the same parabolic trajectory as that of the main firecracker or fragment. So this is the parabolic trajectory of the fragment of mass m2, and that is the parabolic trajectory of the fragment of mass m1. This is the parabola described by another fragment of mass m1, parabolic trajectory of the fragment of mass m1. And this is the parabolic trajectory of center of mass or the main projectile or firecracker or bomb. In this case, center of mass will follow the same parabolic path as that of the main bomb or firecracker or the projectile. When a bomb or firecracker explodes, when a bomb or firecracker projected from ground, that means projected from the point O on the ground, explodes in mid-air, at the point P, explodes in mid-air at the point P, the two fragments explodes into two fragments in mid-air at the point P. The two fragments fly off in two different directions, describing their own parabolic paths. But the center of mass of the two fragments will still continue to move along the same parabolic path OPD, along which the main bomb or firecracker was moving before disintegration. So in the diagram, the fragment of mass m1 will describe this type of parabolic trajectory. The other fragment of mass 2 m2 will follow this parabolic trajectory, and the center of mass of a system of two fragments will follow this type of parabolic trajectory, same as the parabolic path described by the main bomb. Number 7 topic. In diagram, OB is a rod of length capital L. Let lambda equal alpha x be the linear mass density of the rod OB of length L, capital L, which can rotate about the vertical axis y1 y2, about the axis of rotation y1 y2, For that, we can consider a small part or elementary portion of the rod. This is the small part of the rod. Mass of the small part is dm. Dm is the mass of the small part of the rod. Width of the small part or width of this elementary portion is dx, and this elementary portion is at a distance x from the fixed end or from the axis of rotation. X is the distance of this elementary portion from the axis of rotation y1, y2 or from the point O. Now C is the center of mass of this rod having variable mass with respect to length. In this case, mass increases non-linearly with the length, and xcm is the distance of center of mass, that is the distance of the point C from the axis of rotation or from the point O. So now expression of xcm is integration dm into x, that is sum of moments of mass divided by total mass, integration 0 to L, integration dm into x divided by integration dm. Integration alpha x squared dx, alpha x squared dx, it should be x square dx 0 to L, integration, it should be x square integration divided by integration alpha x dx 0 to L. That is xcm. xcm equal to integration 0 to L alpha x squared dx divided by integration 0 to L alpha x dx, where dm equal lambda dx, which is the mass of small part of the length dx, and xcm is the distance of center of mass of the rod AB. Number 8 topic, we have a system of two particles of masses m1, m2. So these are the two particles of masses m1 and m2. Two particles of masses m1 and m2 at the points A and B. A and B are the 2 points at which two bodies having masses m1 and m2 are placed. Let the position coordinate vector of these two particles of masses m1 and m2 are vector r1 and vector r2. We can connect O and A, that is vector r1, and if we connect O and B, we get the straight line OB, and that straight line OB is vector r2 or position distance vector of the particle of mass m2 from the origin. Vector r1 is the distance vector of the particle m1 from the origin is x1 I cap plus y1 j cap plus z1 k cap, comma vector r2 equal x2 I cap plus y2 j cap plus z2 k cap. These are the two distance vectors of the two particles of masses m1 and m2 at A and B from the origin, where vector r1 and vector r2 are the position vectors of the two particles, 2 points A and B at which two particles are placed. And the first particle of mass m1 has the position coordinates x1, y1, z1. First particle of mass m1 is placed at A, which has position coordinates x1, y1, z1, and the point B has the position coordinates x2, y2 and z2. So now we can denote the center of mass of the system containing two particles. C is the center of mass having position coordinates xcm, ycm, zcm. So in this case, xcm will be distance of center of mass along x-axis from origin is m1 x1 plus m2 x2 divided by m1 plus m2. Similarly, ycm equal to m2 x2 m1 y1 plus m2 y2 divided by m1 plus m2. So, and zcm is equal to m1 z1 plus m2 z2 divided by m1 plus m2. Therefore, vector rcm equal to xcm I cap plus ycm j cap plus zcm k cap. So this is the distance vector of center of mass or position vector of the center of mass with respect to the origin. Position vector of the center of mass. position vector of the center of mass of the system of two particles of masses m1 and m2, m1 and m2.